What's going on, Bengals fans? I am your host once again, Stone Shields, and welcome into Bengals Breakdown. Got a great show for you planned out today. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the Bengals' first-round draft pick, Amarius Mims. So the fine folks over at ESPN kind of gave out their rookie report cards for all the first-round draft picks in the NFL. So that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show. But before we hop into it, make sure you like this video. We did really well with that a couple of days ago on the 17th, got 285 likes, but we got some momentum. So let's go out there and let's try to beat that number. Do us a favor, hit that thumbs up icon down below, and let's beat 285 likes on this video. So this is the exercise we are looking at today. Basically, as we all know, all teams had their mandatory minicamps, and ESPN's team of NFL reporters submitted early observations for all of those first-round draft picks. And, the reporter for the Cincinnati Bengals that works for ESPN is Ben Baby. He does an outstanding job covering the team. So we're really going to dive into some of the notes and things he had to say about the Cincinnati Bengals OTA period, specifically about first-round draft pick Amarius Mims. So this is what Baby said regarding the Bengals' first-round draft pick. He said Mims took advantage of the first-team reps vacated by right tackle Trent Brown, who missed all but the mandatory minicamp. Mims will get time to work his way into the league as a projected backup, but so far he has checked all the boxes for Coach Zach Taylor. So it's your first chance to get interactive for us in the comments. What do you think? How often do you think Amarius Mims is going to be out there starting for the Cincinnati Bengals? There's been some mixed reports. Obviously, there's a lot of work still to be done, but I set the number at 7.5. So you let me know over or under if you think he will start more than 7.5 games or less than 7.5 games for the Bengals in the 2024 season. So obviously, with less Trent Brown, that means more opportunities for Amarius Mims, right, as far as the offseason workouts go. As we know, Trent Brown had some off-the-field things he was dealing with. You know, those things happen, right? Those things come up. I don't think that means that Trent Brown, is a bad teammate for not being at this, voluntary session. But certainly when you draft a guy to kind of fill his spot, it's going to give him an advantage when Trent Brown isn't there, right? And that's exactly what happened for Amarius Mims. He got a ton of reps throughout the Bengals offseason program, and he got a lot of reps with the ones too, so that's certainly only going to help him and his development as he continues and progresses towards the regular season. Here's what Zach Taylor had to say about Amarius Mims. He said he's consistently doing it over training camp and blocking people and being able to react very quickly. That's the part that I'm excited about to see how he handles all of that. So obviously things are at a very slow pace right now for Amarius Mims, but that's certainly going to ramp up here when the Bengals get into training camp towards the end of July. A little bit of a scouting report here on Amarius Mims. As we know, he's a two-time national champion at the University of Georgia, and that's something you certainly love about the kid, right? He's been a part of winning. He knows what it is like to win. He was kind of in a reserve role that first run with the Georgia Bulldogs, but a couple of years ago in 2022 when Georgia beat TCU, he really was a focal point on that offensive line for them and started in both the semifinal game and the final game. He's a big boy, obviously, 6'8", 340 pounds, and he can run a little bit. I mean, 5.07 there for his 40 for an offensive tackle. That's not bad at all, and he's certainly a freak athlete in that regard. And he doesn't really get beat a lot, but when he does, he has great recovery ability to kind of, make up for perhaps a bad first move there, when he's trying to block an oncoming rusher. So he's got some great recovery ability. And, he keeps his weight on the inside half when he's, trying to block oncoming pass rushers, which is, something you like to see out of your offensive tackles. And he's got really, really strong hands. This is what Bengals radio analyst Dave Lapham really likes about him. Really physical at the point of attack and at the line of scrimmage, and has some really strong hands. And he's got to work on his run blocking a little bit. He was really good in pass pro, but the run blocking stuff still a little bit shaky, so that's certainly going to be a focal point for Amarius Mims as his offseason continues. Back to Ben Baby and some other things he had to say with regards to the Bengals drafting Amarius Mims. He said Cincinnati has another long-term option at right tackle. After adding veteran Trent Brown as on a one-year deal this offseason, Amarius Mims is someone who can hold down that spot for several years and end the yearly churn at that position. Bobby Hart, oh God, don't even get me started on Bobby Hart tenure. Bobby Hart's 3-year reign at right tackle from 2018 to 2020 was the last time someone held down that position for multiple years. He didn't hold it down very well. If Mims can gain experience and develop at a good trajectory, it will fill a persistent roster hole for the Bengals. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you like that video. Like I said, we're trying to beat our number from earlier in the week, and I know we can do it. We got the fans out there and the support out there to do it. So make sure you hit the like button on today's video. So this is kind of what you saw last year from Amarius Mims at Georgia. He really was, this year was really riddled with injuries for him, right? He only played in, not very many games, and he had that tightrope ankle surgery that really held him back, and he was able to come back there towards the end of the year and play a couple of games. But I don't think these stats. Obviously, there's not much here. I don't think that's it's certainly not why the Bengals drafted him, right? They drafted him for his year in 2022, and just the outlook of a guy with his size and his traits, right? They really saw an NFL body in Amarius Mims, and he's got a lot of upside. I think if he would have played more games in 2023, he would have gotten picked before where the Bengals picked him, and he wouldn't have fallen in terms of where he fell in terms of offensive tackles in the 2024 draft. I think he would have went a lot earlier. So in my opinion, the Bengals got a big-time steal here in Amarius Mims, and it's certainly going to show at some point this season out on the football field. Back to Ben Baby. So we kind of got a position battle on our hands here at this right tackle spot. He said, when will he be expected to get regular playing time? It's not out of the realm of possibility that Mims will be pressed into action at some point this season. While the Bengals did add Brown, he has battled injury concerns over the past few years. Brown has played in every one of his team's games once in the last 5 seasons. He started in 8 of his 11 appearances with the New England Patriots last season. The 2025 season is when Mims will be projected to be a starter, but history suggests his time could come sooner. And taking a look here at the Bengals depth chart, I think the Bengals would like to get him out there at some point in the regular season. When that time comes, I'm not sure. I think there's a real possibility he could be out there week 1, but the Bengals probably would try to avoid that. They brought in Trent Brown. They're paying him a decent amount of money on a 1-year deal. He's a veteran guy, a proven winner. They would like to go with him, but that doesn't understate how confident they are in a guy like Amarius Mims. I don't want to compare it to kind of the Myles Murphy situation of last year. I think the Bengals would like to see Mims have a more significant role than what Murphy had last year on the defensive side for Cincinnati. So at some point, he's going to be out there playing when that comes. I don't know. We'll certainly get a better idea of that, when training camp rolls around. But I want to offer this question up to you guys. Do you believe that Amarius Mims will start at right tackle in week 1? Let us know who you think starts. Type AM if you think it is Amarius Mims, able to somehow win the job over Trent Brown for week 1, or type TB if you believe it'll be Trent Brown. And as always, make sure you subscribe to our channel here at Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. Got a lot of exciting things coming up. I know it's a bit of a dead period, so just bear with us here over this next month or so. Once training camp rolls around, we're really going to have a lot of great stuff we can discuss. And obviously, preseason, regular season, we're just going to get rolling for that as well. And really looking forward to hosting a bunch of watch parties during that time. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. That is youtube.com/BengalsTV.